Shalom, shalom. Back at it again. All praises, honor, and glory go to the Father, Yahweh, and we do so by the name of the Son, Yahweh Shai, who the world calls Jesus Christ. We're back at it again, man. The dynamic duo.
The teen and titan.
The teen and the titan, holding it down for the Lord with an iron sword. Back at it again with the bootleg green screen. So my son got one. Story time. We finna bring it out.
Overtime. Share. Boom. All right. Here we go. We got a story time about Daniel and the lion's den.
This is Daniel chapter 6, verses 1 through 28. Verse 1. It pleased Darius to set over the kingdom 120 princes.
120.
Which should be over the whole kingdom. And over these 3 presidents, of whom Daniel was first, that the princes might give accounts unto them, and the king should have no damage.
The prince's job back then was to watch over the kingdom and protect the Lord's name.
Right. So he wasn't taking any damage, right? Either to his kingdom or to his name. Because if anything happens, right, it's gonna make the king look bad. Like you're not, holding a heavy hand over your kingdom. You know what I mean? Verse 3. Then this Daniel was preferred above the presidents and princes, because an excellent spirit was in him, and the king sought to set him over the whole realm. He had an excellent spirit, right? He was righteous, right? He had to be. He had the spirit of wisdom on him, right? He was walking with wisdom. Verse 4. Then the presidents and princes sought to find occasion against Daniel concerning the kingdom, but they could find none occasion nor fault. For as much as he was faithful, neither was there any error or fault found in him.
The presidents and the princes were after him and tried to find some dirt on him, probably to make him not president anymore.
Right.
They were hating on him.
They were hating on him. Right. Hating on him, and not in a good way.
Yeah.
We got one coming up called The Biggest Hater, man. Watch out for that one. Verse 5. Then said these men, we shall not find any occasion against this Daniel, except we find it against him concerning the law of his God.
They thought it was a good idea to make a law where he can't serve his God, which we got a precept right here, Psalms 83 and 2 through 3.
Psalms 83, verse 2. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee shall, Salakia, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones.
Yep, so they took crafty counsel against Daniel here and made a law where he can't serve his God.
Right. A tumult is like a conversation, a big discussion, a talk.
Yeah.
All right, go back up right quick. I want to see something.
More up? Or?
Oh, right there. Yeah. It says, we shall find occasion. Okay, yeah, you brought it out. That's cool. Verse 6.
Mm-hmm.
Then these presidents and princes assembled together to the king and said thus unto him, King Darius, live forever. All the presidents of the kingdom, the governors and the princes, the counselors and the captains have consulted together to establish a royal statute and to make a firm decree.
A law made by legal authority.
Right. The legal authority at that time would have been Darius, right? The king. That whosoever shall ask a petition of any god or man for 30 days, save thee, O king, he shall be cast into the den of lions.
They made a law against serving any other god for 30 days.
Right. And if you had a petition of any god, you had to ask the king. So if you wanted anything, you couldn't ask your god. You couldn't pray to your god. You had to ask the king Darius, like, for 30 days. Crazy. Verse 8. Now, O king, establish the decree and sign the writing, that it be not changed, according to the law of the Medes and Persians, which altereth not.
Here,
So what we got?
precept First Maccabees.
First Max.
Where is?
Gotta go to the 1611. The 1611. First Maccabees chapter 1, verses 41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people, and everyone should leave his law, so that all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath. For the king had sent letters by messengers into Jerusalem and the cities of Judea, that they should follow the strange laws of the land. More on that?
No.
And for that was it?
Yeah, that was it.
That was it. Okay, so just like they did, well, this came first, right?
Yeah.
This came first, but it ain't nothing new. There's nothing new under the sun, man. They doing the same thing over and twice again.
So 9.
Verse 9. Wherefore King Darius signed the writing and the decree. 10. Now when Daniel knew that the writing was signed, he sent unto his house and his windows. Hold on, Slaki. He went into his house, and his windows being open in his chamber toward Jerusalem, he kneeled upon his knees 3 times a day and prayed and gave thanks before his God.
So he knew beforehand that he was gonna get taken up by the princes and the people before the king. So that's why he prayed 3 times a day.
Right. I think he was
and gave
praying.
thanks.
I think he was praying 3 times a day, every day, regardless.
Yeah.
Right. It says as he did aforetime.
Aforetime.
Right. Well, he's been doing that,
And this is a good example why you should pray too.
Right. It's important, man. A lot of people pray when things are going bad.
Pray when things are good.
Pray when things are good. Right. Pray when things are good. Verse 11. Then these men assembled and found Daniel praying and making supplication before his God.
So they found Daniel and brought him to the king to see what to do with him. Well, in verse 12 they say that, but I just said it in the before scripture.
Right. So the reason why they were able to see him, because in verse 10 it said he had his windows open. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So they were walking by, they were watching Daniel.
Yeah.
They're we got to get him on something. But
Planning.
remember, they had that decree, and they knew he's going to do it. He does it every day. Let's walk by, and they wasn't taking photos back then, but they walked by with 2 or 3 witnesses and say, hey, we got him.
Yeah.
We got him. Like, what's the name he's saying? What's that dude? Got him. We got him. Well, verse 12.
Yeah. Forgot.
Then they came near and spake before the king concerning the king's decree. Hast thou not signed a decree that every man that shall ask a petition of any god or man within 30 days, save of thee, O king, shall be cast into the lion's den? The king answered and said, the thing is true according to the law of the Medes and the Persians, which altereth not.
Like planned to throw him into the lion's den, because Daniel prayed to his God, which the decree of the king speaks not to do.
Right.
Short and simple.
Yeah, they had to say, hey, king, remember what you said, right? Remember that? And he's like, yeah, I remember what I said. Verse 13. Then answered they and said before the king, that Daniel, which is of the children of the captivity of Judah, regardeth not thee, O king, nor the decree that thou hast signed, but maketh his petition 3 times a day.
They're saying that Daniel prays 3 times a day. Basically.
Right.
That's what the petition, never mind.
Yeah. Yeah, they're saying what he was doing. They telling on him, right? Because they trying to get him out the way, right? This is the ultimate example of snitching right here, right? These are the greatest informants right here.
Oh yeah, but I wanted to add that the petition is like a prayer too.
Mm-hmm. You make this petition 3 times a day.
Yeah, that's
Right.
also a prayer. That's another word for prayer.
14. Then the king, when he heard these words, was sore displeased with himself, and set his heart unto Daniel to deliver him. And he labored till the going down of the sun to deliver him.
The king wanted to save Daniel, so he labored till sunset to try and make a plan to save him.
Right. He tried to make a plan to save him, right? He was thinking of a way, like, damn, he was pondering, right? He was sitting on his golden throne, and he was like, damn, what can I do?
To save him.
He was like, what did Daniel do to make these niggas so mad? That's what he, hey, verse 15. Then these men assembled unto the king and said unto the king, know, O king, that the law of the Medes and Persians is that no decree nor statute with the king established may be changed.
The men that made the king make the decree wanted Daniel to be thrown in the lion's den, so they peer pressured him.
They peer pressured him, right? They had to put the pressure on him. Hey, remember that these decrees of the Persians and the Medes can't be changed, right? Because they know that Darius liked the Daniel. He wanted to give him the whole realm, right?
Yeah.
Like Mortal Kombat. He wanted to give him the whole underworld. So, man, they was like, hey, you can't change this, right? Ain't no backing out of this, you know? And the king wanted to be a man of his word. He had to go through with it, or else he'll make him look weak. That's the weakest thing a man can do, is to say one thing and then turn around and say another. That's weak. That's weak leadership, right? You can't say one thing and then turn around and say, nah, I didn't say that. You know what I mean? You can't do that. You got to stand on it, man. You got to stand on it. Right or wrong, you got to stand on it. Now, I mean, if you want to change, then that's different. But this is the decree that cannot be changed. You got to stand on it. Where we at? 16?
Yeah.
Then the king commanded, and they brought Daniel and cast him into the den of lions. Now the king spake and said unto Daniel, thy God, he had to whisper to him, right? Because he didn't want them to know. It says, thy God, whom thou servest continually, he will deliver thee, right?
The king was forced and didn't want to put him in the lion's den. King Darius believed the Lord would deliver him also.
Right. So even Darius believed. Even Darius has some faith in the Lord. He was like, man, he's like, I know that God that you pray to, he gonna deliver you. I ain't even worried about you, right? Verse 17. And a stone was brought and laid upon the mouth of the den, and the king sealed it with his own signet, right? So a signet is like, if you got like a signet ring, usually a signet ring is like a pinky ring, right? And it has like some type of indentation on it, and then they put like usually clay or some type of wax from a candle, and they put their ring in it, and it has their insignia, their sign on it, right? So they know it's sealed. This is official right here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And with the signet of his lords, that the purpose might not be changed concerning Daniel.
They closed the den with the rock, so he couldn't get out and die.
Hold on. They closed the den with the rock so he couldn't get out and die?
And the stone was brought, laid upon the mouth of the den. And wouldn't that be the main point?
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. It says they closed the den with the rock so he couldn't get out and die inside. Okay, my bad.
Yeah, wouldn't that be the main reason they closed it with the rock?
Yeah, you got it. Verse 18. Then the king went to his palace and passed the night fasting. Neither were instruments of music brought before him, and his sleep went from him. So I want to make a point here about fasting. It says the king went to his palace and passed the night fasting, right? So fasting can be
Anything.
it can be anything, right? It can be food, right? And if it was normal for him to have instruments of music brought before him, right? He can be fasting from that. Because fasting is an absence of something. You're taking it away. You're not dealing with that, right? You can fast from women. If you're a whoremonger, you need to fast from women to leave women alone, right? If
It's good to leave women alone.
right, in certain circumstances, yes, right. But we all need women in a capacity. Women are very important, right?
Yeah.
But you don't want to be a whoremonger or an adulteress, right? You need to fast from women, right? So fasting from food, from instruments. He's fasting from sleep. He didn't even, the sleep went from him. He wasn't sleeping. He didn't have any of those things that night. He was up all night, right? Verse 19. Then the king arose very early in the morning and went in haste unto the den of lions.
He had a feeling to just check on Daniel.
Right. He knew, like, man, I gotta see what's going on with my dude, right? With my homie, man. Verse 20. And when he came to the den, he cried with a
Lamentable voice.
right.
And that lamentable voice is a full of or expressing sorrow or grief. And they put an example: the lamentable friends trailing their long black garments.
Lamentable frames, huh? Lamentable.
Yeah.
Interesting. Unto Daniel. And the king spake and said to Daniel, O Daniel, servant of the living God, is thy God whom thou servest continually able to deliver thee from the lions? Then said David unto the king, O king, live forever. Verse 22, my God has sent his angels and has shut the lion's mouth, that they have not hurt me, for as much as before him innocency was found in me. And also before thee, O king, have I done no hurt.
The Lord closed the lion's mouth, so he'll be safe because he saw good in Daniel.
Right. He saw good and no evil in Daniel.
And we have a precept here, 1 Peter 1.
1 Peter chapter 3, verse 11. Let him eschew evil and do good. Let him seek peace and eschew it. For the eyes of the Lord are over the righteous, and his ears are open unto their prayers. But the face of the Lord is against them that do evil. And who is he that will harm you, if ye be followers of that which is good? And if ye suffer for righteousness' sake, happy are ye, and be not afraid of their terror, neither be troubled, but sanctify the Lord God in your hearts, and be ready always to give an answer to every man that asketh you a reason of the hope that is in you with meekness and fear, having a good conscience, that whereas they speak evil of you as of evildoers, they may be ashamed that falsely accuse your good conversation in Christ. For it is better.
It.
That was it?
Yeah, that was it.
Okay.
Let's stop at 15.
Okay, Salakia. But everything is done in Christ. So who was that angel? Go ahead.
22.
23. Then was the king exceedingly glad for him, and commanded that they should take Daniel up out of the den. So Daniel was taken up out of the den, and no manner of hurt was upon him, because he believed in his God.
He had faith in the Lord, and he didn't get hurt.
Right. So we got a whole bunch of precepts here. Psalms 34 and 19, we'll be jumping around. Psalms 34 and 19. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivered him out of them all. See that? You got to keep your faith and trust in the Lord. right? And you got to do that by the mediator, which is Christ.
And then I think 15 is 37.
Psalms
30, 35.
Psalms 35, 15 through 17. But mine adversary, they rejoiced and gathered themselves together. Yea, the objects gathered themselves together against me, and I knew it not. They did tear me and ceased not. With hypocritical mockers and feast, they gnashed upon me with their teeth. Lord, how long wilt thou look on? Rescue my soul from their destructions, my darling from the lions. Okay, that's what they are. Not only was he in the lion's den, but he in due time will be saved from the lions as far as the people who want to kill him, right? People who want him dead. Psalms 37 and what?
40.
And 40. Psalms 37 and 40. And the Lord shall help them and deliver them. He shall deliver them from the wicked and save them because they trust in him. That's fire. Yes, sir.
Fire. All right. 24.
24. And the king commanded, and they brought those men which had accused Daniel, and they cast them into the den of lions, them, their children, and their wives. And the lions had, ooh, hold on, man. Hold on. You see that? They cast the children and their wives. Ooh. The wives were angry. And the lions had the mastery of them. So they had control over them, right? And break all their bones in pieces or ever they came at the bottom of the den.
The table turned 10 times worse for the men, came back on them tenfold. And that wanted Daniel to be dead. So basically the tables turned for him.
Yeah, they got thrown in the lion's den, right?
And we have some more precepts here. Esther.
Esther chapter 7, verses 9 through 10. And Harbona of the chamberlains said before the king, behold, also the gallows 50 cubits high, which Haman had made for Mordecai, who had spoken good of the king, standeth in the house of Haman. And the king said, hang him thereon. So they hanged Haman in the gallows that he had prepared for Mordecai. Then was the king's wrath pacified.
So this is an example of how the tables turned in just another book before it. So as you see, Haman, he made something for Mordecai, but he was the one that got, hanged on it. Which is crazy.
Right.
So then we have
Haman was disliking Mordecai because he wouldn't bow to him, if I'm not mistaken.
Hayden. So here we have Deuteronomy 30 and 7.
Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 7. And the Lord thy God will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. The curses could be, curses he that hangeth on a tree, or curses he that go into the lion's den. Right? Any evil thing that's going to come upon you will be a curse. So being put in the lion's den was a curse, right? And that got turned on to the enemy, right?
Mm-hmm. And then we have another one, I think, Joel.
3 and 7, is that what it was?
Yeah.
The book of Joel, chapter 3, verse 7. Behold, I will raise them out of the place whither ye have sold them, and I will return your recompense upon your own head. Right.
Oh, just another example
Mm-hmm.
in a chapter after that, or a book after that.
Right. Yes, sir.
So 25.
25. Then King Darius wrote up unto all people, nations, and languages that dwell in all the earth, peace be multiplied unto you. 26. I make a decree that in every dominion of my kingdom men tremble and fear before the God of Daniel. For he is the living God and steadfast forever, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed, and his dominion shall be even unto the end.
Then the king made it where Then the king made it where the king's kingdom had to fear the Lord.
Right. They have to fear the Lord.
Yep. So the table really turned. Or the decree basically got removed.
Right. It got overruled.
Yeah.
Right. It got overruled.
And we have another one, another last precept, Micah chapter 4 and 2. I'll read this one. Micah chapter 4, verse 2. And many nations shall come and say, Come and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, and to the house of the God of Jacob, and he would teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For the law shall go forth of Zion, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem.
Right. That's right.
Yeah. It's basically saying the same thing, just in different words.
Right.
Okay, 27.
27. He delivered and rescued, and he worketh signs and wonders in heaven and in earth. Who hath delivered Daniel from the power of the lions? 28. So this Daniel prospered in the reign of Darius and in the reign of Cyrus the Persian. Selah.
Boom. So that's the end of my class, the story time on the book of Daniel in the lion's den. As you see, the main topic of this whole thing was about faith again. So, yep, that's it. I'm gonna close it up.
Right. About faith, keeping the commandments, and performing wisdom. Praying at all times. We back. You see me? Con. And with that, man, we gonna close it out, man. Giving all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High God Yahweh, and we do so by the name of the Son. And with that, we say Shalom.
Shalom.